Boom. They say it.
My service is acting up.
They say lie. We lie.
Okay, Grand Rising, beautiful, melanated, original, whatever you respectfully call yourself, people. It's your girl, Straight Note Chaser with the Queen, and we are here with the Good Morning from Africa Town, LA crew, Kathy B, Clear as Conscious, Angela, and Mind Games Uncut from the Mind Games Uncut podcast, D
What's
May.
up? What's up?
So today we decided to talk about the movie that's gotten us all talking. I see it all over social media now. I didn't know nothing about it. They cloned Tyrone. They cloned Tyrone. So we don't want to be just spoilers, but we want to kind of talk about the message that is being put out there. I think we said the same thing over and over again, but our people, I think we need to visually see things. A lot of us are visual to really
Exactly.
see it. So,
Right.
my games, you brought it to our attention. So, let what do you get out this movie? They clone Tyrone.
Oh man, I'm trying to hit everybody up because because everybody want to tell me and let them know. Man, it's a good. I mean, the movie. I tell a lot of people. Like some people said the same thing I said when I first seen it. It was like, okay, it's like a comedy in the beginning. The normal gangster pimps horror type thing in the black community.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, okay, get in the middle of the movie. It's like it just take a big twist. You know what I'm saying? And I think they touched on a whole lot of stuff we talk about all the time. How they, especially with the music. I really love the part about the music. There's other things too, as y'all seen. Because everybody's seen it, right? Everybody, y'all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I watched it today. Wow.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm saying so
Wow.
everybody know, so I won't be, so yeah, my fault, y'all. So I touching on the music part, they hit it on the money. I'm like, I couldn't believe Netflix pushed that. The only reason, like I was telling Kathy earlier, only reason why they pushed it because there was a lot of comedy in it. If it was like a straight serious movie, they would have like, no, we're not gonna do it. But when they touched on the part about the music, how the music affect the minds of our people and people in general, you know what I'm saying? It was like I'm like, wow, like the part when they was like, can we spoiler alert? We just gonna tell it to y'all. I'm just letting people know.
No, we don't want to do too much of a spoiler alert, but we
Okay.
want. I mean, I guess you can't really give a
Don't
spoiler
spoil
alert.
it.
Grand
Because it,
Rising chat. I was just want to shout out to MTGV Crime Podcast, Lovely Lady
I miss me.
37177, Erica, um, Grand Rising chat. But no, we don't want to spoil it because we want y'all to see it. But
can
I
we do it
guess
like this? Can we the
it
people in
might
the
be a spoiler alert.
yeah? How many
You
people in
know,
the chat now? I mean, so on your end, how many people in the chat? Cause we just asked, have they seen it yet? And then it won't be as bad. I guess if they already seen it, we won't have to worry
yeah.
about it.
I guess. Oh, I guess we can't. I mean, just let's talk about it. I mean, we don't want to tell everything, but um,
Yeah.
I think it was good because I was like, wow, I did not expect it myself
Hmm.
until I started looking at it. I'm thinking, like, what is D made? Somebody look at this when they, when and then they called it Tyrone. But what I got from the gist of it is that when they say they clone Tyrone, basically they're cloning that mindset over
Exactly.
and over and over again.
Hmm.
That mindset that our black men have in the hood, or that our black men have. Go ahead, Maze.
Yeah, and I guess I can piggyback. Like, yeah, I mean, it's basically showing you what we going through. Like, we already know it's happening. It's just kind of like in the movie, it's like, wow, they really telling you in your face. Like I always tell people, they put. Well, I don't say it, but other people say it. They put it in the movies first. You know what I'm saying? Before they do anything, but this they didn't have to put it in the movies for us to know what's going on. We know about when it comes to music and our food and church and stuff like that, and even perms and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
it's like I'm like, even with the food, we know the food we eat is not good for us, but we continue to eat that crap, and then when we develop these illness in our bodies, we still continue to eat that stuff. That's why I don't understand. Like they put it in the movie, and you still they tell you like it's crazy. It's kind of hard not to talk about it without
yeah,
because
it's
we go
kind of hard. If you
yeah, 'cause
don't, we're
yeah,
gonna say spoiler alert right here.
yeah,
If you haven't seen it, see it first, then come back and see the podcast. Other than
exactly,
that, we probably gonna give you some spoiler alerts over here because
yeah,
I was thinking the same thing with the perm. Um, D Mays, like when she was complaining, and then when the perm started setting in her head, it was like, well, let me just get this perm and still keep going on and doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the chicken, what got me with the scene with the chicken, they were laughing, and I think they was trying to depict how black people laugh at everything.
Yeah.
In the seriousness, and what's, you know, we make a joke and laugh out of everything, even with that Carly Russell situation. We laughing. We laugh, we make a joke about it, but that is serious.
And somebody actually made a meme about this movie and the Carly Russell thing. I like, wow, like, yeah, it's kind of messed up because the movie was, you know, if you take the comedy out of it, it's kind of sad that that's how the world look at us, especially when the white supremacists broke it down. Like, dude, I mean, when Kiefer Sutherland, when he came in there and that, to me, that was a perfect actor to play that role, like, because he be in them conspiracy type shows anyway in movies, and he was like, man, look, we got this going on all over the country. You know what I'm saying? What's that right there? Oh, that popped up.
The copyright.
I did that.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. and yeah, I mean, he really like the dude. I mean, he really broke it down, you know, on that part when he was talking about, like, you know, we got to keep this system in place. You know, white supremacy, like. We got to keep y'all dumbed down. You know, we got to keep pushing that image of drug dealers and the whole, like, remember that, yeah, because it's like I say, it's a spoiler alert. So the scene, you remember when that was crazy in the club? Y'all remember the club scene, right? When when the DJ was like,
yes, you know, and then it was like depicting how we get hype off of music and we ready to fight and kill anybody, really, like our music programs us to attack and kill each other.
And the sister was like, you know, the one who playing the prostitute. She's like, hey, y'all, close your ears. Like, they programmed me, like, and then he made them come after them. And the part I liked was when they caught up with him, and, you know, when they was in the car and they all surrounded the car, and the white supremacists got out the car, and he was like, you know, we control y'all and stuff. Remember, she wasn't control for some reason. She wasn't control. Remember. The sister,
remember, she was in control because they were cloning. Who were they cloning? They were cloning the drug dealers and the pimps.
Yeah, right? He said you just a whore. He said you just a whore, so you already, like, we don't have to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And what I depicted when they showed her being the black woman being, you know, the prostitute, they were showing the black woman being over sexualized. I think that was a symbolic message in that.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you nothing.
Like, they ain't have to program her. We just voluntarily over sexualizing ourselves.
And she was the smartest one. She was getting. She's like, hold on, y'all. This is not right. Like, he's saying them cold words and he trying to make him, like, you know, he's trying to kill her. I'm like, man, that was so deep. Like, I mean, especially when he was talking about after slavery. Like, I remember he was saying, like, yeah, you know, after slavery, we had to pretty much continue the cycle. And I'm like, man, like, we had to kind of come up with a whole new system to control y'all pretty much. I'm like, man, that got to be like one of the realest movies out, you know. And see, white people are not going to look at it like that because they don't understand, but they do understand. Exactly. They're trying to be in denial. Because I looked at some of the breakdown of it too, like what we doing, but the white people talking about it, it was kind of being funny, like talking about the drug dealers and the pimps, trying to talk like black people, being funny, but they were still breaking it down. I'm like, yeah, all right. But yeah, that movie, man, it was, yeah, I mean, and, you know, Jamie Foxx did a good job. I know some people think that's not him. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. I did not
know that this is the movie till my daughter told me. She was like, yeah, this is the movie that Jamie Foxx was making before he had the disappearance and came back to the new Jamie Foxx with the no wrinkle, no cheekbones, different head shape, different eyes. You know, the new Jamie Foxx we got.
Yeah. And
we
remember,
ain't saying he a clone, but
they made this movie in 2020. So remember, so I'll put it out here for y'all too. They made the movie in 2020 and they filmed it here in Atlanta. They didn't tell you where it was at in the movie. They just said it was Glen. The town was called Glen. They didn't say it was in Atlanta, but it was in Atlanta. Yeah, that's what they filmed it at. So yeah, I was like, wow, like there was. I mean, so I'm trying. Like they said, everybody wasn't clones. So people who listen to it, they know that everybody wasn't clones. Only a few of them were clones, but everybody was getting controlled through the food, through the perm, and let's talk about church.
Yes, let's talk about the church.
The communion with the grape whatever, grape juice.
The grape drink.
Yeah, you know, you always got to take that communion. But then when he was saying in the church, everything that's going on, you still going to church, being happy, praising the Lord like ain't nothing going on. They what was they saying? They were chanting something, and it's something that we always say. They were chanting something in
Let
the
me
movie.
tell you what they were saying because I wrote it down, y'all. I got
Okay,
notes.
go ahead,
Good, because
Queen.
they had me on a roll. Okay,
Go ahead.
so he was saying what he was saying was, where's it at? The pastor, because David Allen Greer played the pastor, and it said that God, it was speaking on God wanting obedience. Okay, so God wants obedience from everyone. So he says, you know, it doesn't matter if your bills are due, it doesn't matter if your kids are being killed by the Dairy Queen, you're supposed to trust. And then right after that, they were like, oh, yes, amen. And what they play, I don't know if y'all caught it, but it was the instrumental to back that thing up in the beginning, mixed with some church music.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, the beat in the beginning was to back that thing up. You saw they was backing it up.
Wow.
That's what happened.
You had to watch that movie twice because I before we got on.
I gotta watch it again.
And I was looking at the ending because it was a part the guy was breaking down. He was talking about, you know, we'll get to that later about how when he met his oldest self. And man, they touched on the whole Yakub. Y'all know about Yakub, right? So it breaks that down by how we'll get to that a little later. I know Mr. P want to come in too, but man, that was deep. And yeah, the whole church thing, like I said, they had the laboratories like all these different places. And now what y'all knows about everything from the liquor store to the DJ,
beauty shops, the thug shoot, the thug culture, the club culture.
So the first time they
culture.
Exactly. So the first time they discovered the laboratory, remember they found out the powder will put in the chicken and stuff. They called it, what they call it? They call it. Oh, I
don't know. At first they thought it was cocaine.
Yeah,
you know?
It was called. Oh God, what's the name of that? I wish you didn't write that down, did you?
I missed that part. I missed that.
It's called.
I missed it. Like I gotta watch
something.
it again.
Yeah, but they had a name for it. So that's the stuff that kind of, like you said, kind of control you a little bit, your mind control. But remember, the guy was a white-looking dude with an afro. And then the DJ, same way. The dude at the liquor store. Then you saw the guy at the when the sister went in there, and the dude, the big fro, the other guy at the other place. Everybody looked like a Jew, like a white Jew. You know, 'cause a lot of Italians look like that too. They got kinky hair, look like. But you know why? I'm trying to wait Miss P. You know why they look like that? You know why they look like that, right?
Everybody need to look white. I mean.
Yeah, they look like it, but I'm glad I looked at it again and then listened to another breakdown. So basically, cause we can pick it back, we can come back to it. So what I thought about was how the Jews control everything. Cause you got Jews that kinky hair too, like the ones who, and I'm like, okay, they showing how the Jews control the music industry, everything. You know what I'm saying? But what it was, they touched on the Yakub thing. Y'all know about Yakub, right?
Right. Yes, the big-headed scientist.
So you saw at the end of the movie, what's that brother name? What's his name? He from the UK, the main actor played Fontaine. What's his name? Boyega. Jason, what's his first name? Boyega.
I don't know.
Yeah, the brother, he's a good actor. He played on Star Wars. But anyway, remember he was, his older self was the scientist. He was like Yakub. So remember the brother who got killed. He was looking on the refrigerator. His brother got killed. His younger brother.
Right.
What happened was
they even touched on police brutality.
Exactly. The police killed him, and he was like, "Look, he was like, we powerless as a people." He said, "So what's the best way to beat this system? We need to become like them." So what he did. So if you saw the end of the movie, remember when Jason woke up, when Fontaine woke up after the bodyguard, which is him who was cloned too, beat him up when he woke up and he looked at the his self as oldest self. He was a scientist, and he was like, he was talking about how he created everything. You saw it was some white men and black men in the little glass thing, the clone. What he was doing, he was creating a whole nother race. Like he said,
a mixed race, like
mixed race. And he said, none of the guys you seen with the afros and the light skin look like white men. And he created that because he wanted to create he said it took him a while to just like Yakub. They said he was pulling genes and all that and created white people. Yeah, what he was doing. So he said we can create another race. I won't have to worry about white supremacy. But he said I sold my soul to the devil, to the white man, to try to create this whole another breed of people. I'm like, man, that movie. I'm like, that's deep. Like. That was deep, man.
Was deep. And like I said, say that to Queen.
I was gonna say he even said, when Fontaine's, the present character, he said, you can't just do this. This is not going to happen overnight. And he said, the older one said, no, we're going to do this over generations.
300 something. Yeah, generations. Yep.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Queen.
No, you're right.
No, you were fine. You were fine because I mean, I just is looking at like the whole thing is saying everything that every so-called pro-black person is saying is all in a nutshell.
Yep.
And if you're not woke, you wouldn't get it.
Exactly.
But I wonder, what I've seen is when all the black people came together fighting.
Oh man, I love that. That was, I'll tell my girl, I said, man,
and that's what I want us to do. All come back and fight together against the whole system.
And let's touch on that. Like, so, and I like how him and his rival gang member, remember the guy be on P Valley, if y'all watch P Valley, well, that's the he was the one who killed him earlier. But Jamie Foxx actually came up with the whole plan. Like, look, we're gonna act like they shot you and killed you. And once the government come and get you and take you to the lab, that's when they infiltrated the lab. And even it was a symbol. I'm trying to say it was a symbol. They had, you saw them pictures of them white kids they had on the wall, like the future of the race.
Yeah,
all these different symbolic messages. Yeah, I'm like, wow, like man, it's so much stuff. Even us in here, we watched it. It's some stuff we probably gonna forget to talk about because the movie.
Yeah, we need to watch this movie like 3 times.
Yeah, because I'm like, and they would have put. Actually, I think it was better putting on Netflix instead of putting it in the theaters because more people got access watching it at home and stuff. And I seen so many people like, man, somebody said, look, every black person I seen like a couple people I know on Facebook said every black person need to watch this. It's a must. Like even even have your children watching it because it's like, and even him being a gangster, he even realized like, man, because he kind of got pissed off. Remember, he was like, especially when the white guy, when Kiefer Sutherland came out there and the white supremacy came out there and broke it down to him, he was like, so you basically y'all create this whole thing, y'all create the pimps and the gangsters and y'all control the music to have us fighting amongst each other. He's like, yeah, and it's working. Like, remember he said, y'all, because what's the name killed? You killed Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, Jamie Foxx killed him. Remember, he was telling the sister, he was like, yeah, we everywhere. We in Detroit, we in LA. You know what I'm saying? He like, we everywhere. And then, we'll get to the end, toward the end, we'll talk about the end. But, when he said LA, I like, wow. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
they in every hood.
In every hood. He said, it don't matter.
Everybody in this movie, black, get up. Even the clones get up and go to the liquor store. We go to the same places, repeat the same cycles. And it's only like they realize everything is only being done in the black neighborhoods or the so-called black community.
Exactly. I like, wow. It's just crazy. Like, even when they released all the clones and stuff, they was just like because they had to program you to have a conscience. They when the reporter was talking to all the black people with clones, they couldn't say nothing because they were just like a shell. They were walking, but they was like mindless creatures. You know what I'm saying?
Did you hear the word that reporters used though? They said allegedly people have been cloned. Allegedly. People have been cloned. Wow. Allegedly. You see all these people looking the same allegedly. And that's what we keep doing. We see the news and it's like allegedly. No, what's the word they were using? The new word they use, unprecedented.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Exactly. Stop using these words like we're ignorant.
Exactly.
And we have to stop acting like we're ignorant because they're doing it right in our face. I know when Kiefer Sutherland, when they came out after that club scene, what did he say? He said America was an experiment. It was always going to be an experiment.
Oh, that was deep. Yeah, that was deep.
It was deep.
Yeah, when he said that, yeah. Oh man, I like people didn't even peep. So I'll be wondering, was that scripted? Was he just ad-libbing? Like, when you are A-list actor like that, you can just, they can just like Denzel and them do that a lot. Like they can just speak from the heart. They don't even have to read from a script really. And I'm like, dang, and a lot of white people know that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but when they release the clones, what they're saying is that now they produce a race of mindless people. Every generation is destroying their own culture. Exactly. We don't have a culture, and they basically say we're being reproduced. We laugh at everything. We're not taking anything serious. They just got us basically in a box,
exactly,
in a hood box, and they just throw things at us. It was just amazing me, like I said, with the girl, the perm. She was complaining like, I gotta pay this, I gotta go to work. When we start thinking about what's really going on with us as a whole, we get distracted.
Exactly.
Because what she said, well, I guess it's okay. I guess it's all right. As they was putting that relaxer, well, I guess it's all right. It's just the way it is. I'll just pay these bills.
Just go get our nails done, go get our hair done, and just forget what is really going on.
And I like how the sister, you got it. Now I'm saying how the sister was like, we got to get our people out of here. Like, she like, because they were like,
those are like the people like us. Everybody that's trying to wake up black people. Hey, our people need to get out of this rut that we in, but nobody's listening.
Yep. And then the part when they was in, I like how they did it because you really didn't know what time they was in. They had the flip phones. It was kind of like between the early 90s and probably early 2000s because they mentioned, they kind of, because they said when they created the movie, they didn't really want you to know because it's like it throw you off. I like how it had that old 80s, 90s type feel to it. That was kind of dope how they did how they did the filming. I think
they showing how it started with just destroying us because you think about it, we were okay up until the 1970s, up until we integrated. That's when we basically went downhill. That's what they showing where we started at and where we're at now.
In the part, somebody was saying they use the word, the N word a lot. Yeah, that's how black people talk, and they wanted it. That's how the programming was. Like you said, this is an experiment. So, man, I'm telling you, that club scene is. I'm telling you, like the music we listen to now. I'm like, man, even like the Suka Honey crowd and the Sexy Red, and of course the gangster rap and stuff. It's like, wow, like they pushing this stuff. They keep pushing, and then especially when they was in the laboratory and they was showing the black men in the room. They were fighting. They were playing that gangster music. They were beating each other up, and they started turning to some good, like some calm music, and they start like hugging each other, whatever. They were showing you how to control the minds of us. Like the music, we know that music do affect us. I'm like, they had the sisters in there doing, putting the perm in their head, and that's. I mean, that was crazy, boy. I was like, wow, like they're showing they made moves about the perm, how it damaging black women hair, and it goes into their brains and stuff like that. So that cream, whatever they put in that cream,
giving us uterine cancer.
Yeah,
and I try to tell some people that, and they be like, "Oh, so what is like it's giving you cancer."
Yeah, exactly.
Stop doing it. Yeah, especially now. Everybody should know now, but I bet you there's people still getting it.
People still getting it, and then wonder why they can't have kids, or wonder why a couple of years from now you diagnosed with cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it started with lye. It used to have lye in it.
Yeah, it would work. Yeah,
the lye out.
They call it pump. Yeah. I'm like, they touched on that. I ain't never gonna touch on the perm thing. That was real deep.
I'm surprised they church touched on the church thing, how we just come to church and how the pastor just program you to ignore all the truth that you see.
And the white Jesus was there.
Yeah, they had the white Jesus. Yeah, they had the white Jesus. I'm like, wow, I like it, man.
And I was looking at one of my cousin profiles today, and they think I'm the devil. And then when you tell black people the truth, like China is rewriting the Bible right now. I put that in the post.
Wow.
If y'all saw that. China is rewriting the Bible, and it's not no different because when we look at where we at today, China is rewriting the Bible. Why? For a certain reason. And we know that the Bible has been rewritten 1,500 or something times. That is not a secret. We can know it, but you have black people that will argue you down that the Bible is still the book of the Lord and this and that, not the book of man. Because I asked the pastor one time, why is this? How do y'all know God told these people that? Because they was inspired by God. Oh, because they told you, just like Jim Jones, like
somebody said what they was doing.
But right now, the whole thing is the girl's eyes stretched open. They was putting all these images in her head. Yeah. Like we look at movies and listen to all these images that they program our kids in their head that it's okay. That's why our kids are twerking. That's why it's okay to carry guns, because when one person do it, the next person do it. It's okay to stand over a black person and pull the trigger. All these worse images.
What's up, broken tradition? Listen, and even with to Blanche. So when you said it had
happy birthday, Cancer 21. Don't mean to cut you up. Happy birthday, Cancer. Yeah. Happy belated birthday, Cancer 2184. Shout out. Go ahead.
So the thing was, remember, when you a clone, you just a shell walking. You like a zombie.
Like when
they put your head, when they open her eyes up, they would do something. They had the little thing. They were doing them images. Then when they were programming, it's they putting the conscious into the clone. That's how they control the clone. If you ever seen that movie called The 6th Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger years ago, I mean, it was made a long time ago. How they do, like they it kept dying, but they had so many clones of your body, they just download your conscious into the clone. That's how you remember everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say when we die, our spirit ain't nothing but a conscious. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they did. That's what they were doing. So remember, at the end of the movie, when they was bringing all them black people out that was cloned, remember the reporter was trying to talk to them, but they was just like, or just didn't say nothing. They were like a zombie.
Right.
What they kept, like they didn't get the conscious downloaded into their bodies. So that's why they were doing it to the sisters. Remember when they took over when them brothers and sisters took over the lab, they were grabbing them white folk, throwing them in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, that y'all messed up our people. We trying to, you know, but I like that, man. That show you how that's a real revolution. When you see black people came together and they went down there and got them brothers and sisters, I love it. Man, you ain't watching that program tradition. I told you yesterday,
Check this
bro.
out, though, D-Maze. Did you guys see, like, when they were down in the laboratory the last time, did you notice when they went in there to take, you know, when the black group went in there, a lot of white people were still walking around. Now, the black people were down there with guns, but a lot of the white people that were working there were just walking around like they were unafraid. They like, I had to rewind it because I'm like, what's going on? Y'all don't see these guns? And they start like shooting or whatever. And the message that I took from that was, you know, they don't think that we are to be feared. You know, they call us, you know, scary and aggressive, but it's like they weren't taking the situation seriously. Like nobody was going to take them out, you know. I'm like, okay,
exactly,
all right,
exactly. To the sister came out and she shot the gun. The white girl started running, like, yeah, what y'all doing? Like, yeah, I saw that part, yeah. Man,
But what about when they were just walking around delivering and stuff? If you see it was a glimpse of when they brought the perm and put it on the shelf and left. It was a white person. You notice they just in our neighborhood, set up the stuff and leave out. They're not living in our neighborhoods. We're living in our neighborhoods, but we don't catch that.
In the liquor store,
just come and drop off the liquor store, the perms, the church. They leave their white Jesus and everything else, and then they go live their life. And you know, nobody is talking about that.
And Kathy was right. That it was funny how they deliberately put a white Jesus on that big wall, you know, but a black priest. And I'm like, wow, like, and I've been in some churches that black people still got a white Jesus up there talking about it doesn't matter. I'm like, you crazy? Like, an image is everything. Like. That movie touched on. They pretty much touched on everything. Like I said, I like the chicken part was. You know what I thought about when they did the chicken scene? I thought about Popeye, but all them black folks was running there getting that chicken sandwich. I like, man, that's crazy. Like something about that chicken, boy. We, you know, and then Jamie Foxx was figuring it out. He said, "Hold on, worry about it, laugh." Because when Fontaine started laughing, he said, "I never seen you laugh." He said, "That's why I knew it was something in that." It was some of that chicken. You remember, they went in the laboratory, they found that powder substance, and they knew they were controlling, you know, because he accidentally shot the whatever them people were. They supposed to be white, black, whatever them. But it was a brother. Actually, a brother directed it too, y'all. He was a young brother. He's like, I don't know if he's from here, but he's a young brother, probably like 28, 30 years old. He directed that movie. So I don't know who the writers was, but somebody even said. I heard earlier today on some other breakdowns of the movie that ChatGPT wrote it. That's what I heard, but I don't know how true that is. You know, because you can just pour the information to ChatGPT, and that's what they're doing. AI is writing scripts now. That's why they're having a writer's strike. But I ain't trying to get into the writer's strike thing. I'm just saying I just heard somebody say that it probably is true because you can write a script and probably like in a day when you use ChatGPT, but whoever wrote it did a good job. You know what I'm saying? And Netflix know they're gonna make some money off that because everybody's talking about it. Like I said, they touched. I mean, I'm trying to think. It's a whole lot of stuff. Even remember the part like when he was going to the it was a part when he every time he get up, he work out, he go to the liquor store. And remember the homeless guy who he always pulled liquor in his cup.
Yeah, Frog. His name was Frog.
Yeah, he was a clone. He got away. He was trying to tell him. Another guy broke it down. He said he was trying to throw little messages to him, like, but try to get him to remember. He knew what was going on, but he could continue to stay homeless and just like act like he didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a part they said that he already knew what was going on. Like, remember the prostitute, the sister who had the pink hair?
Mm-hmm.
She was a clone. Remember they had it say missing on it had a missing picture.
Was that her?
It was her. Yeah, she didn't have that pink hair. She had
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. Yeah.
I was wondering who that was on the poster.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
You know, they had a lot of people. I mean, you know, everybody wasn't cloned, but they had a lot of black people clones. Like, so the people who was in the club, they were just programmed through the probably through the music and through the chicken and stuff like that. So like Keith Son said, we don't have to clone everybody. We just can control y'all minds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, like that. Yeah, and they kept showing they kept showing the picture of the people on the wall, like the white man on the wall smiling, big brother looking at you, looking at the community, keeping an eye on the community and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a lot of symbolic messages in the movie. You know, I like that. Like I said, yeah. And then it so happened Jamie Foxx come out after the movie come out. We want to speak, so like I guess he was waiting. Like, let me wait this movie come out first. But he did a good job, man. If it's him or not, did a good job. You know, because he was kind of figuring it out too.
Like two different people now.
Yeah. He was figuring it out, like, because remember when he saw himself, he was like, oh man, like, damn, like, I'm not even real. But somebody was saying something like about the clones. Hold on. Somebody said so they was empty, not programmed yet. Yeah, exactly. They just like a shell. You can walk, but you ain't got no conscience. You know, like a zombie. A zombie is just they just walk around mindless, you know, till they eat somebody's brain. But yeah. Somebody said, well, a lot of sounds like Aaron McGraw or Boondocks. Yeah, it's good. Erica, have you seen it yet? Because everybody, yeah, you gotta watch it. I mean, the movies. I'm gonna watch it again. Yeah, you gotta watch.
Probably look at the church and, like, you know, when they go down when the church and they go down under the communion and whatnot. But where they end up at though, when that tunnel led up to what? The strip club.
Yeah,
they started out the church, they came out at the strip club.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the strip club. Wow, they really touched that. You know, black women over sexualized. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I like, wow, like it's just like, man, it's like assimilation pretty much. Like, we just gonna, like he said, this was going on in every major city. I'm like, he said LA, Chicago, other places. I like, wow, like, and remember Keith Son said he thought it was either contained in a small town. So the city of Glen was a small town, and he said we thought it was easier to control black people here, but he didn't realize that black people were smart and they figured it out. Like, no, you know, and that's what he was kind of mad about. Like, dang, we thought he said, because he was over different cities too. Like, he was, you know, and you know, you found out the brother was the one who created the clones because he trying to create this race. I don't know what the hell he was trying to, but like he said, he sold his soul to the devil. You know, so he remind me of the Boule, the Divine Nine. Like, I'm gonna sell my people out and maintain white supremacy. I'll land my plane.
Yeah, and what did he say? He said assimilation is better than annihilation.
Exactly.
That's what he said.
Exactly.
So you can't kill us all, right? So, but what do you do if we could all be programmed and do what we're told? Yeah, that's where they're killing everybody. You just can't go around killing everybody, and they do, in a sense, but not like that. So it was really deep.
Yeah, that was deep though. You said deep. So you basically saying, yeah, we're just gonna give in. You know, black folks can't win, so we're just gonna try to live like y'all. Like, and that's a symbolic message. A lot of black people try to act white. They try to be like white people, and they thinking like, you know, and the ones who, like I said, the Boule and all them, they try to like, well, we just gonna compromise. We're gonna just, you know, see, can we live in peace with the enemy? And yeah, they touch on all that, man. I'm like, man, I said, if nobody didn't get that in that, I mean, you gotta be pretty, I mean, I say stupid, but I mean, you and I think a lot of black people is in denial when they see in the movie, but majority of people get it from who I'm talked to. They're like, yeah, man, it's sad because that's actually happening. Like now, like some people gonna see that movie and they're not gonna even change.
I think a lot of people like that, though. I mean, if you're always being entertained and you don't do your research and what's going on around you is not important, then it is just another Netflix movie to watch. You know, otherwise people should be very disturbed. And I mean, it's actually nothing new. You know, so the fact that now it's on Netflix now, you know, they're making jokes about it now. Jamie Foxx's situation may be what it is. You know, I think that's the humor for, you know, the powers that be, is that we're watching this, we see this stuff, we're putting it in your face, but you're still going to be controlled. I think that's what they want. And that's what's sad. We're not, the tears of a clown, we're somebody's joke and it's not funny. So we definitely have to wake up and understand what's really going on. And like I said, I started taking notes because I was first disturbed. I'm like, I'm looking at these outfits and, I see the box TVs. I didn't see no flat screens. I see the TV, the phones jacked in the wall. And now they got flip phones. I'm like, hold on. They reference Mary J. Blige. They reference 9/11. I'm like, what time zone are we in? It was very confusing to me. But what was important was not to miss the message. I think we could have gotten distracted and confused about that, but we had to see the message, So
they I mean they like I said, when they hit. I mean, even with the writing, they had to sit and brainstorm like what plays the black community, like what's the problem in the black community. They touched on like from religion to the foods, because we know the foods killing us. Our people got all these problems, you know what I'm saying, to the gang violence, to the music. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that scene in the club was still a hard. Then he made them just run out the black people, try to kill them because they trying to give out they're trying to get the information out. Like, look, this is what they trying to do. They are controlling us. You know what I'm saying? The sister tried to tell them. She tried to tell them to close their ears, but they wouldn't listen because it was too late. Like when he started changing that whatever he was doing with the music, it was just like messing with. Because remember, first they were just out there regular dancing, and then they think they started going to a train. But how you saw they were walking around like zombies when he started changing the music.
The music, yep.
He said, "Now I need y'all to go get them," and they were running down the street. I'm like, man, that was creepy right there. Like that was crazy, man. Like it was like that probably you probably won't see a movie like that again. Like they thinking, well, black folks just gonna watch it for entertainment. Because a lot of us are in denial as a people that these things are not. Look, I'm the first to tell everybody. Back when I was in, running around the streets when I was younger, and we used to go to clubs like deep in Atlanta. Atlanta clubs were wild back in the days. And when songs come on, like tear the club up and stuff, man, we out there acting a fool like that. Like gin and juice. I remember when gin and juice came out, nobody was drinking gin and juice like that. But everybody going to the liquor store to buy it when we go to parties and stuff because we listen to it in the song. So they hit it on the nail when they showed it. I'm like, wow, this music affects you, man. If you listen to Marvin Gaye, you're gonna be on a positive type vibe. But if you listen to some gangster rap, you're gonna be on some BS. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Yeah, and I lived. I'm gonna live testimony. I mean, I did it. Like, yeah, we go in the club, man, club bouncer and Bucket and Bankhead, man. They play some. Like when crunk music was out,
not Bankhead.
What? Like we were looking for trouble. Like I'm dead serious. Like we be like 20 deep. You seeing somebody, you just want to push somebody and start acting a fool. That music control you, man. Like for real. You listen to conscious music, you good. You listen to some gangster rap and stuff like that, trap music, it gonna mess up your head. That's why people has embraced this whole Sukianas and Sexy Red. It don't got so bad.
Don't listen to the music.
Yeah, don't listen to the music. The sister up here talking about she want to get her junk stretched out when she went to London in front of these white people. She comfortable to say this around these white ones. I want to get my junk stretched out and ate out. You said it. Come on, man. Really? You a black woman, man.
That was terrible.
I'm like, come on, man.
And then Sexy Red, I tried to listen to her lyrics. I'm like, oh my gosh, losing brain cells.
And my thing is this, like, if these women, I'm not wishing this upon nobody, especially my people, but you out here doing all this crazy stuff like that, all this sexual act, and you catch something, that's on you. You can't even say nothing. You talking about you want to, and there's another thing, this whole thing about, and this still connected to the movie about the program of music. Like you talking about you want to eat a man butt out. I mean, come on, like really? And any man that like that, like just come on. That's whatever you do in your bedroom, you do in your bedroom. But if you out in public talking like that, come on, man. Like it's a time and place, and for everything. And I think this movie kind of show you how a lot of us now. You talking about controlling people, so it's saying it's controlling our minds. So it basically we don't got control over nothing. We just pretty much whatever they say, you just do. But that's man, I'm telling you, that movie, it was deep. It was real deep, like. And I'm like, man, because they say they put in the movies first. They telling you what they doing, and just like the JFK movie, they telling you they killed the president, and the guy who directed the movie said we got the information, and people won't even believe our own government took out our president. But this movie right here, they telling you let's be honest, everybody in this room right now know that movie was real. Like far as all the stuff they were touching on with the hair, the food, come on. Come on. I mean,
Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry, I had a business meeting. I'm reading the chat, y'all. Oh, Mr. P about to come in the building. Read the chat. Okay, so Mr. P
Look at him serious,
I'm trying
Mr.
to
P
catch
got
up with
something on
the
his
chat right
mind.
now.
he had to dissect it, huh?
Erica
Look, he got
says, but
something
why
on his
did
mind.
Fontaine's clone kill the old Fontaine? Like I thought Fontaine couldn't control his clone.
But because he pretty much he was pretty much evil. He said he sold his soul to the devil, and if he wasn't gonna change, he was Yakub pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Just the evil version or whatever. And he had to kill him. That's what I'm thinking. The movie was totally subliminal. Yeah, I think he had to kill him because he wasn't gonna change. I mean, he was set in his way. It was the old version of him. And I'm gonna let Mr. P talk because I'm gonna get toward when we get to the end.
Yes, I'm ready to hear what Mr. P has to say. Go ahead.
Okay, brother, you got
it. Okay, first things first, let me say, I had zero expectations for this movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
None. Zero. I thought this movie was going to be garbage. This has been my favorite movie this year.
I tell you, it's the best
I'm
movie out right now, bro.
and shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm just
Shout out
putting your
everybody,
comments
Mike.
up because I was on. Go ahead, Mr. P.
Okay. Like I said, I should have took notes because there was so much. So let me try to summarize some of it. First things first, a person who would watch this movie who's trying to take it like The Godfather, you're looking at it wrong. It is satire. It is spoof. It is a modern blaxploitation.
Mm-hmm.
So once you take it that way and understand, you get all the metaphor and all the stuff that's being said in the flick. And I just thought it was going to be goofy and dumb. I didn't get goofy and dumb at all. I got pay attention to everything that they saying in this flick. So I'm sure y'all have covered some of it. So let me just throw some of the things out at first.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it right off the bat when they were in the car and a certain hip hop song started playing, how they started yawning and getting sleepy. Remember that?
I seen that. I didn't even catch that.
They were driving. They were driving, and he put in the song, came on, and they all started yawning. I was like, and then the music you listening to is lulling you to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
one of the first things I picked up on. I picked up on, first of all, how everybody was missing all the missing signs when he went in.
Yes, all the black people that's missing. Yeah,
all the black people that are missing, and how we don't pay it no mind. We go and we just keep on going. So, the constant scratching off of the lotto that you consistently put in your, and he had one everywhere, even all the way to the end. He was always scratching off a lottery ticket. You keep tricking
that's me.
You keep spending your money on that ticket and you're not winning, but you keep spending it anyway. There's the metaphor in that. One of the reasons I've always loved blaxploitation flicks is they always went where we were. They weren't office workers and all of that. It's a drug dealer. Keith Sutherland told the joke at some point. A pimp, a drug dealer, and a hoe walk into a bar.
Wow, I ain't even.
Yeah.
One of the things that I tripped off of the most was that he was saying, and I love the way that they gave him the name Nixon, as in one of the people who ushered in this look at our community. We're not gonna clean up your community. We need you to be exactly what you are.
Yep.
We want you where you are. And we will keep you there by your food, by your religion, by your music, by your hair care.
Yep.
The fact that we don't check on our peoples. He just kind of, Mom, you okay? And got these canned responses. He never really checked to see if his mama was there in the first place.
Dang, I didn't get what they were saying with that. I was like, dang, the mama.
I got that. You never even checked on her because you are so deep in this matrix-like web of where we got you that you don't even pay attention to your people. And then once you realized and learned this entire thing, this web that goes way deeper than you think it goes, you said, all right, forget it. I ain't even gonna trip off nothing no more. I'm gonna go live my life. And you couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Once you know what light looks like, it's real hard to go back to the dark.
Exactly.
And he eventually throws the bottle, breaks the door down on his mom, and who's not there. And he really has this whole crisis of conscience because he's like, this is so deep for me to try to fix, but I can't fix it. Exactly. I'm not by myself. And one of the things I love about the flick is once you went and told the whole hood and told everybody that this is what it was, it took the unity of everybody coming together.
Exactly. Even the gangsters.
To tear down this web.
Yep.
And not only to tear it down, but to expose it so bad that they can't even come up with anything to cover it up.
Hey, Mr. P, I like the part when the sister, what's her name? Yo-Yo, right? The prostitute.
Right.
It was because she was peeping everything. Like most black women, they smart, they know what's going on. So when they captured her, remember they put the perm on her head, but she had the wig. Goddamn, boy. She's like, yeah, y'all gonna get that in my system, boy.
I laughed so hard. First of all, I was horrified. I'm like, they're perming her hair.
But look, as a woman, that scene is very important because we wear our hair and the wigs are just, our braids are protective. It's a protective style. We put the wig on top of our braids to grow our braids to take care of the hair under there. But go ahead.
And I love the way that the perming of the hair, the changing of your nationality and your ethnicity was a way to numb your brain against what's going on. I got these bills. I got, it'll be okay.
Exactly.
And that's what it always is.
Did you notice, Mr. P, when when he realized that his mother was not real, and then you can see the emotion, like you can see like he was so distraught and so beside himself. But what do you do though? That little boy was out there on that stoop, and he had to pull himself together for that little boy. We need to pull ourselves together
for the little boy.
For our youth, like we've been screwed. So now what do we do? Can we pull ourselves together for our legacies, for the generation coming, behind us?
I love the way that the portals to the control, when they needed to, at the liquor store, it was through the malt liquor. At the church, it was through the pulpit. And I was like,
and the trap house
that they had. It was so. Man, this movie was smarter than people realize it is.
Too, I was watching another breakdown. The guy, he was saying like the guys you seen look like white guy with froze. Like you probably thought they were Jews or Italian, but what it was, the older version of Fontaine. At the end, he was a scientist. He was trying to create. He said, he's trying to create a race, pretty much like Yakub. Pretty much, he was trying to create a whole race.
What I got with that was this, and to me, it went in. Here's the metaphor for that. His whole thing was to change black people into white people.
Exactly.
To change the difficult. And what did he say? The hair is so difficult.
Yeah.
Because to change us, you don't want us to be black.
Yeah.
To let us be us is not authentic enough. You need to change us completely. Exactly. You need to not only just whitewash us, but to change our hair, to change our skin, to change how we talk, to change everything about us.
Exactly.
And to give us the impression that if we just give in to this change, everything will be okay.
Yep. Exactly.
And I thought,
what about this, Mr. P? The whole name of the movie, they cloned Tyrone. Like I said earlier, the whole thing is the ghetto thug mentality.
Yeah,
that they're cloning in every black man. That's what I got from it. Because
I like
how many times why did they keep cloning that same man? And it wasn't the man, it was the mentality, because he was the hustler in the street, the drug dealer, just the mentality of our people. Remember, he didn't give a care. He wasn't the one to play with. That's
So
the mentality that they're cloning through our black guys all the time.
So,
but one of the things they want, one
yeah.
of the things they want from that guy all the time is, and Malcolm talked about this in the autobiography, we don't want that guy to really walk in his full potential.
Exactly.
I've said to people before that the reason why gangsterism and hoodism works in our community is because it's a metastasized version of masculinity.
Yeah.
Women, you don't necessarily want the guy who gonna go to jail. You want the dude who will protect you. You don't want the guy who's selling rock. You want the dude who will go get some money. You don't want the guy who happens to be a pimp. You want the guy who has some style and some swag and some flash and some charisma about him. Almost everything hood is a mutated version of what we are. And what they didn't want, you don't want him to become this person who's sieged. You want him to stay where he's at, a drug dealer who's hurting his own community, who's hurting folks. I don't need you to see.
He hurt his little brother. He was supposed to be an example to his little brother, and they just kind of threw it in there a little bit about how the police killed them. Why? Because he said he stole some candy. You know, go ahead.
And I want to say this too, real quick, y'all. Everybody right now that's listening to us, hit that like button, share, subscribe, share this because it's real good, y'all. Everybody need to be listening to this. Yeah, and I even with Keith Southern at the end when they infiltrated the laboratory down in the underground. You see how he was saying, wow, we thought we could contain just a small town of black people, but y'all up here, it's a revolution going on. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of pissed, like, how could y'all do this? Like, how y'all figure this out when we control it? LA, Chicago.
One of the things that was really smart about the movie, and I have this thing about me, I don't know if everybody has this, but when I see a movie, I always look to see the landmarks to see where is this movie shot at? Where is it from? Is it a Chicago movie? Is it an Atlanta movie? The movie deliberately did not tell you what city the Glen is in.
Because it's always in every black community.
Because it's in every black community.
Yep.
That's why I don't want you to think this is just an Atlanta story. It's just the LA story. It's just a New Orleans. This is every black community.
Yep, exactly.
Everywhere.
You remember when at the end when we finally found out who Tyrone was? He was in LA. So he was a Crip. It seemed like he was a Crip.
He's a Crip.
Yeah. So he doing the same thing, doing the weights, knocking him, asking. He didn't open the door up. He asked his mom, "Did she need anything?" Go to the liquor store, do the scratch off, and then when he get with his homies, and they're looking at TV, they showing the clones and stuff, and they see him. He like, what the hell?
Exactly.
So how did they clone him?
Version of
was he a clone?
One?
I'm saying, was Tyrone a clone? Like, how did they get his DNA? Like, that's what I'm trying
but that's what we're saying. Well, go ahead, Queen. First, like, what are you saying?
It looked like he was a younger version of the one present.
Yeah, he was younger. Yeah, yeah.
But that's what we're saying, D Mays. It's not about really Tyrone. It's like that thug mentality, mentality that every black man in the hood got.
They have cloned the mentality. They have cloned the gangster. They have cloned the hoe. They have cloned the pimp. They have cloned the strip club. They have cloned the church. They have cloned the food. And I loved the chicken thing. The chicken thing.
That's what I was saying. Before you say it, I was saying
Go ahead.
They was laughing, and then when he realized everybody laughing and all this shit is serious, why is we laughed. I think it was subliminal of how we just laugh past the destruction that's going on around us.
We laughed past the destruction. Everything that they were giving them was for the destruction. The music either made you numb to what was going on or made you want to hurt. The food made you either it was always they gotta come get this chicken.
Food, one thing they took from us is culture. We used to eat together and sit around, and that's when we had our happiness. But we're being blinded because the food is poison in our mind.
Because the food is poison in our mind.
Erica said something in the comments.
She said when they get locked up, they fingerprint you, they take your blood work and everything. I know because my son went through the juvenile system. Yeah, so that's how they're cloning. I guess she's answering your question.
Yeah, and even with that, you know, if you look at when we go and give blood, you know, I've never, no offense to anyone that donates blood. If you want to save a life, that's cool. But if you look at my husband went to go do that one time, and like he read through the criteria. It took him forever, like 30 minutes to actually read. And it was like they tell you that they can take your blood and it's not your property now. They can sell it overseas. They can do whatever they want to. So when people come up with these charges and your DNA is found in places and stuff like that, how do you think that happens? You're actually giving.
I didn't even know that because I used to give blood in college.
Oh yeah, they tell you that for real. Like it's not your property. They can do whatever they want to with it. Sometimes we're volunteering our entrapment.
Shout out to Growth Talk. What's up, bro?
Yes.
Shout out to Growth Talk.
Read what Growth Talk said, D-Maze.
Yeah, he said by the time the light bulb went off in each scenario, it was too late for most. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
but that's where we're at now. And then not just try to be funny, y'all. Jamie Foxx. This is when I did not know this is the movie he was making, as I said earlier, when he miraculously had this episode of health, and now he comes back with a little head, light skin, big eyes, you know. But I'm just
yeah. Because they filmed. Everybody know they filmed the movie here in Atlanta. They did film it in Atlanta.
I knew it was. I could tell it was either. I knew it was something Southern because at the end with LA don't look like that. Yeah, when y'all saw it, I said, "There go my city." Yeah. That's my city right there. Yeah. I got another one for y'all. Yeah. One of the fathers of Black nationalism is a man named Martin Delaney. Martin Delaney was a Black Christian gentleman in the Reconstruction era. Between the end of the he was an abolitionist. And then he was a firm believer in Black nationalism. And he was a Christian. But one of his problems with how Christianity was taught is he said it makes the way it's being taught makes men too docile. You're not warriors. It'll all be okay. Just let it all sort out. Let's just be obedient to what happens and not worry. And that was what I saw in the movie. The movie was saying, even if you going through this, even if you going through that, just relax. It'll all be okay.
You didn't see the queen break it down. Tell them, Angie, the music.
Go ahead.
Did you catch the music that she's caught playing?
Did you see the music, Mr. P? Did you not hear the back that thing up instrumental in the church?
Is that what that was?
That's what that was.
I was trying to figure out what they were playing, that all of a sudden just had them all dropping it like it was hot in the pulpit.
And they mixed that dun with the church music with it, you know.
And you know the church always stealing secular music and making it theirs because the girl from what is that singing group? She was in church singing with the Tiny and them. You know, I forgot it was a thing where what is her name? What is that? What is that girl from that song with Tiny and them? What's the bigger girl name? Latoya? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Escape.
They had her singing an Escape song at church, and it was so crazy. And then the people were making excuses like, "Well, if you listen to it, that used to be it could be a church song because it was like
just put Jesus in it."
I think she would put it. I get so weak in the knees.
The Simpsons told a joke like that before. They had a pop singer on there who used to be a Christian music singer, and she was like, "It's okay. We just substitute the word Jesus with baby."
Hey, check this out. Y'all remember the part? So y'all remember when they took over the lab at the end? See, this the problem. They kept it real though. So even though they got the gangsters and everybody from the community to go down and destroy it, you saw that one guy sitting down at the desk calling his people up like, "Hey, y'all come down here." And, you know, like we you know, and he was like, "Yeah, bring old shorty down here." See, even in a revolution, you still gonna have the, you know, they ain't gonna be able to take a seat, but you still need them. They're effective though.
But I'm gonna tell you how I took that. I'm gonna tell you how I try to take it. Number one. Everything works when the hood unites. When we are united, then you can overthrow it. Number two, don't just make it with us being united that it's just all business. Make it the party that it is. We overthrowing white oppression and normalcy. It's for all of us to have a ball while we do it.
Yep. And even if he had, not cut you off, even his rival gang member, remember the one who shot him? He had to pay him. They paid him to come, to shoot him, so he can go into the lab and everything, infiltrate this. So it works itself out. Like you said, everybody gonna have to work together. So he didn't believe it. Remember, he didn't believe. He went down and said, "What the hell's going on?"
It takes me to the other thing. Nobody had to go outside of us to solve this issue. Exactly. Every issue we had, we solved with our own resources, with our own knowledge, with our own stuff. And then what happens once it all gets solved? Then the media jumps on it and they don't have the explanation for what it is. Yeah. I saw that as we don't need no outside stuff to get this solved. All we need is everything we already got right now.
And it was funny too. You're right, bro. It was funny. Like I think Angie touched on it earlier when they were bringing the boxes of perm. The white folk were bringing the boxes of perm into the beauty salon. Nobody didn't even think that about it. And even with the chicken, they were bringing the chicken in.
Man, when I tell you, I was cracking up off everything that was working. The hip hop and how they started yawning when they were trying to escape from the strip club and how they started playing something that slowed everybody down. They got all of that. When they were doing the experiments on them and they were playing angry hip hop in the lab and they would fight and they play R&B and they hugged it out. And quiet as kept. We don't know that for years. When we clean up, when you clean up around the house on Saturday, what do you play?
Music. I used to play it on Sundays. I play
or Sunday. When I'm cleaning up, and I am a hip hop head, when I'm cleaning up, the only hip hop I'll really play when I'm cleaning up seriously is old school hip hop. The stuff without the shooting and without the other stuff. But when I'm really chilling, it's all old school R&B. It's all LTD. It's all the Isleys. It's the OJs. It's old school mama used to clean up the house on Saturday and Sunday music. You know why? Settles you down, calms you down, relaxes you. I'm not thinking about knocking nobody out. I might be thinking about knocking something, but it's not knocking nobody out.
And somebody might have said, he was saying in the strip club when the DJ started playing that song Round and Round, and in the part two when they first found the first lab and they went to the trap house, remember? And when they went down there and the white looking, whether he was mixed with like with the fro, and when Jamie Foxx now put the gun to him, he said, "Y'all gotta understand, we're everywhere." He said it low.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere. So I'm like, man, so they was already doing. So how many of those? Whoever they was create those black, white, whatever they were, it was a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? See, I didn't peep that out in the movie till I saw the one with the real big fro.
That's hilarious. No, I figured that part out at the end with Old Fontaine. I'm like, oh, what you doing is you selectively breeding us out.
Yeah.
But again, I still took it metaphorically. One of the problems. And this is why whenever we on the show, y'all always hear me talk about ethnicity and culture, because we get focused on this and we don't get on this. There is a black ethnicity and a black culture that goes along with that. Exactly. And since we got here, their main thing has been, how can we get this culture out of them? The first thing they want us to do is act more like them, walk like them, talk like them. I won't get hired if my hair is like this. If my name is Taman, they're not looking at my application right. If we talk a certain way, if we act a certain way, all of these things they try to do to get us more like them. Exactly. And that's to systematically
we want our kids to look like them. That's why a lot of our people are mixing races and like, oh, I got pretty kids. Them kids don't mean
because I got pretty kids. Because my kids got pretty hair.
Kids are pretty, and that hair is pretty. You just looking more.
Who told you that this was ugly?
You got these solid dark black men walking around with mixed kids that don't look nothing like them.
I watched two NBA players get married this weekend. Joel Embiid and Trae Young. I watched two of them. Joel, huh?
Oh, Trae Young got married. I know he married to a white woman.
Yeah, Trae Young got married. Trae Young got married to his college sweetheart that he met at University of Oklahoma, who's the blonde hair, whitest white woman that ever whited. Joel Embiid from Cameroon. When he talk like
my
this.
daughter told my grandson he better not bring home nothing that hair shed in the food.
So not because you so going back to the movie, Mr. P. I didn't hear that part. So Fontaine, he said, "Look, hey, Mr. P, he going crazy, Mr. P."
Wait a minute, I want to hear this, but Tina got me cracking up. Hold on.
Hey, there's something wrong with my queens, dog.
Oh my God. What'd you say, D-Maze? Oh man.
No, so I know Mr.
Go
P
ahead,
touched
sir.
on the part. I didn't. You touched on the part. I didn't hear. I just looked at it before we got on about the older version of Fontaine when he was like in 70s, whatever. You know, the scientist, right? You know, he said he was trying to mix the genes and change black people to white. You said something about the hair. What he said about the hair?
The hair is the most difficult. It was one of the most difficult parts.
That's why he said that why they were looking like that when that's why the dudes with they were looking white,
they were
but
looking
they had
crazy.
wow.
I was wondering, like, them afros look kind of weird because now when you look,
because he like completely white with this whole thick fro, like
but
dog.
that's how these kids are now. When these black people mix, and it's like when I'm trying to figure out is you black or white, what you gonna do if I can't tell your features? I'm gonna look at your hair.
Drake.
Mm-hmm.
But here's how it's supposed to be. This is what it always was. If I can't tell by your features, I could tell by your talk. I could tell by where you from. I could tell by how you've been raised. I tell people all the time in our culture, I didn't have a big mama, but I know what a big mama is.
Yeah.
So
my mom never sent me to the store for a pack of Benson Hedges menthols, but I know folks who did.
I give you. So did you hear about the? I'll cut you off, bro. So it just came.
No, you good.
I'm glad we talking about this too. So we'll use Drake. Good example. Drake is black and he's part Jewish. You know, white. So what's his name? Ebro in the morning made a comment. I don't know if y'all heard about it. It was kind of controversial last week. He was saying Drake. He said he challenged Drake. Drake should talk more about black, like the issues in the black community. But you think he wrong for saying it? Because Drake was raised around Jews. He wasn't raised around black, even though his daddy black from Tennessee. He wasn't raised around black.
This is a little off. It's a little off topic, but I'm gonna tell you why Drake is never gonna do it. Why? Well, Drake's not gonna do it until he's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm gonna tell you why.
Which he's irrelevant right now.
And it's well, as long as he's still top of the charts and selling, he's relevant. But everybody got an art. Everybody got an art. They go up and they go down. No matter how long you think you in this, eventually your arc will hit. Yeah. But here's why Drake won't do it. Drake's an entertainer.
Yeah.
And you got three kinds. I learned this when I was in hip hop when I was younger. You got artists, you got entertainers, and you got teachers. Teachers got something to say. So it's very important what they say to you because they want to teach you something. That's a KRS or the artists like that, people like that. And I'm using artists specifically for this one. An artist really doesn't care if you get it or not because the artist is making art. So that's Lauryn Hill on a second album doing 14 songs where she's singing over acoustic guitar. She didn't care if you got that. Exactly. She didn't care if you understood the depth in what she was saying. She was expressing her art. Mm-hmm. But an entertainer only cares about entertaining you.
Yep.
They only care about
their entertainment destroys the culture,
at all.
Disrespects women, disrespect men. That's why we got kids out here shooting and killing each other because the entertainers thought it was entertaining to tell black boys to get a gun and shoot your brother.
Yep. And because the labels told them, because you're an entertainer and you want to make money, we will make you more money if you talk about shooting and killing black people.
Mm-hmm.
But don't say that about police or Jews or something because you go to jail for that.
And good example.
Black people.
I'll give you another good example.
Can I say it again, D-Man?
Yeah.
Can I say it again?
Yeah, go on.
In the verse he said, it means so man, but if you're as smart as me, easy you'd be hanging from a tree with no gasoline, just a match and a little bit of gasoline. Light them up, burn them up, flame on till that Jerry curl is gone. Mm-hmm. On a permanent vacation off the master's plantation. Did I just talk about lynching another black man? I talked about his death, right?
Yeah.
Hanging, burn him up, the whole nine. That's not what got that song taken off of Ice Cube's album. Here it is. Get rid of that devil real simple. Put a bullet in his temple. Because you can't be the niggas for life crew with a white Jew telling you what to do. That verse is what got that song taken off the album.
Exactly.
We can burn up Eazy-E all day long. We can fry him. We can call Ren everything but a child of God. But God dang it, you can't talk about shooting a Jew.
Exactly. Yep. And
the whole album is a gangster rap album talking about killing black people.
And going back to the movie, go back to the older version of Fontaine. We talked about Drake, same as Rock. The Rock, his daddy black, but he gonna use the white. He ain't even white. His mom is like some we call it what his mom is
Somalian or something.
Rock. His mom is Hawaiian Samoan. Yeah, she's Samoan.
Rock?
Yeah, the Rock. His mom.
Yeah,
Samoan,
Rock Mama is Samoan. Rock Mama is very Samoan.
Yeah,
Rock Daddy nicknamed Rocky. Rocket Johnson. That's about as black as you can get.
He used to be with Tony Atlas and them and stuff. But
yeah, with Tony Atlas.
The point I'm trying to make is he got that old Fontaine mentality just like Drake now. He's not gonna give all that up for his black side because he don't think his people got power. That's what Fontaine.
And Fontaine tried it.
Yeah, he said you can't win, so I'm gonna try to
forget it.
Yeah.
He tried to go back and he tried to do it. And one of the things about being a national, one of the things about, I like to tell people all the time, and this is telling on myself a little bit, but I'm good. When I was growing up in the 80s, when I was a teenager, I had very strong views about black community. I was kind of a black nationalist. It was Chuck, it was KRS, it was Rakim. These were the people I grew up on. And it's entertaining as a Rakim or a KRS was and how dope their tracks were. They were teaching me something about my people. Go listen to Rakim's second verse on Follow the Leader, where he's talking about how we were put here to be more than that, but we couldn't see because our mind was trapped, and all of the different things they were saying. And I always tell people, to my embarrassment, in the 90s, much like them in the car, I went to sleep. I got married, put out a couple kids, and I went to sleep. The hip hop put me to sleep. The church put me to sleep. The Republican Party and politics put me to sleep. I started, what is going to make me the most money and get me the most success? And I didn't start coming back and start waking quiet as kept to until a movie that reminds me a whole lot of this movie. And I have never been a huge Spike Lee fan. Do the Right Thing was one of my favorites, but I wasn't crazy about it. But when I saw Bamboozle and what Bamboozle was saying about about me, and Bamboozle, a lot like this, is a satirical movie. But when I started taking a different look at the media and taking a different look at how the media shapes our attention and what gangster rap was doing and and please, I'm not trying to call myself an angel. I'm not. I got a whole lot of gangster tracks on my Spotify, and I got a whole lot of hoe tracks on my Spotify. Like I said before, I can't act like I don't like watching girls drop it like it's hot. I'm a male with real red blood in my veins. I cannot act like I don't. What I can say is I don't like watching 13 and 14-year-olds act like they 28 and 29-year-olds and drop it like it's hot. What I can say is I don't want my daughter thinking it's okay for her to be out hitting splits in front of people who don't care about you that way. What I can say is the strip clubs are the direct descendant of the minstrel show, and that they put us out there to gawk at us and get money off of us. I can say the gangster rap has contributed more to the demise of our community than a lot of the other stuff. I can say these things having actually been out there.
Go ahead. You know what's crazy about going back to the movie, you talking about the gangster rap and stuff. You notice he didn't touch on the conscious music because they didn't want you to get the conscious music. They wanted to focus on the bullshit music, the gangster rap, the song that's explore degrade black women. That's the only thing they were trying to feed to you. And it's like you said, we go back to the club scene, everybody was in a trance. Like they was already listening to the garbage, but when the dude changed it, he hit that knob and started messing with the vibe of the stuff. I'm like, man, like That's crazy. Like, and even when he made everybody run after them, that's the same way I look at it. When black people who conscious and black people trying to uplift our people, you have people like the black folks who Democrats and liberals, they try to go against us, telling us not to tell black people not to vote and stuff. I looked at the same, the same with the club. Like, we're gonna go against y'all, even though y'all telling the truth, like they did with Ice Cube. Ice Cube came up with a contract for Black America, and you got those boule type of black people, the Fontaine, the old version of Fontaine, going against them. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh my God, you just hit it. Oh, yeah. Hold up. There was a line. What was the line? What did Homeboy say? What was it? Something to the effect of. Oh, don't think I'm not. I'm gonna go back and watch it. And this time I'm gonna watch it with a notepad.
Said it before you came on that we have to watch this movie about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, for real. What did he say?
He said something to the Olympia Black.
Yeah, Olympia Black. Yeah.
No. There's a line. Something to the effect of. See, the line is in Blade 2, but in Blade 2, when he found out that Homeboy found out that he was working with the vampires against him. He said, I'd rather be a pet. I'd rather be a pet than be cattle.
Yeah, the familiar.
And there's a line in this movie that's like that. What did he say? It's something like that.
Pablo in the house. We got Pablo in the house.
What's up, bro?
Pablo?
The familiar,
for the moment.
They were familiars. They sold. You right, Mr. P. The familiars. But the part when Keith Sutherland, when the sister was finna, they were trying to like. What was she was trying to get the gun to shoot him, and then when he said Olympia Black, and everybody pretty much like because all of them was so that's the part I'm trying to get. Was it to control just the clones, or because everybody else?
That was his thing, though. No, that's a good question. The what's his name? The Chester clone. Chester was the name of the guy of the Fontaine, the bodyguard.
Exactly.
Olympia Black, that was his code word. It didn't work for all of them. So we need to pay attention to what triggers us, what we allowed to be triggered, what we allow ourselves to be triggered by, you know.
But it did. Remember, he used Olympia Black and froze Fontaine.
Yeah.
Because when he turned his back to Fontaine, and Fontaine was finished shooting.
Yeah,
and he said Olympia Black, and he froze.
And then the sister was trying to yeah, you know,
the reason why it worked is because they're all clones.
So was it just for him though? Was that word just for Fontaine? Because nobody else moved like that.
Jamie Foxx didn't move either. He couldn't move either. Remember?
He couldn't move either, and he was using it directed at him to show I can, because of how I have so cloned and infiltrated his mind, I can use it to work against him even when he doesn't want to. And that's one of the things that made him so distraught and be like, ain't no point in fighting.
Yep, right. He said assimilation is better than annihilation. Yeah, he did say
that's the line. Yeah, that's the line. Yeah. That's it. It was assimilation is better than annihilation.
And what they tell you right there, bro? They tell you there's a lot of black people. That's how the boule think. That's how they think. We can't.
That's exactly. That's how most. That's how
the church does us. Go on to say.
Yep.
It's so layered. No, it's so layered. The upper.
I said Yo-Yo couldn't move. No, she wasn't clone. Yo-Yo, the prostitute, she was the only one could move. Remember?
All of them had, and here's another thing. Like I said, I could talk on this movie forever. All of them had different levels of enlightenment that came at different times over different things. Mm-hmm. With Slick, it was the chicken. Yeah. He kind of stopped playing so much. After the chicken.
He figured it out.
None of it was serious to him, even being in the lab, until the chicken.
Yeah. And think about what the chicken, what they were saying. He was like, I never seen this dude laugh before, and they were laughing.
I never seen this dude laugh in my life.
Yeah, let me start figuring it out.
About it, we never seen black people act the way they acted until after, like you say, the way that this scene, this movie,
until whatever it gets in. 90s. How many dudes did you know? How many do I know? All of y'all have known one. In the 7th grade, in the 8th grade, he was the nicest guy. He was the sweetest dude.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. And these sweet dudes, I have little cousins like that. Never think now they the biggest gun toting, chain wearing, label flopping, and I was like, our people most of our children don't even want to be that nerdy doctor or that lawyer or nothing. Everybody wants to be that Tyrone.
Yeah, I was told. It was the reason why, as intelligent as I was, it was the reason why I started hanging out with gangbangers, why I didn't go to class, why it was funny. I was in Houston a couple months ago, and I was sitting with my sister, and my sister was like, "You were bad." I'm like, "Who was bad?" You got kicked out of high school. You got picked up by the cops a couple times. You this, and she went down this list. I was like, yeah, but I'm a nice guy. She's like, you were not a nice guy. I couldn't go to my high school because of you. And all of that, and a lot of these things happened because I had this impression that in order to be a man, or to be a man, especially to be a man that a woman wanted you to be with, these were the ways you had to act. Now, to my demise, as I got older, I met a woman when I was in my 30s. And she knew my background. And her statement was, "Oh, sweetie, all I needed to do was get you to college for one semester." She said, "Yeah, everybody wants the thugs in high school. Everybody wants the nerds in college. Those are the ones who going to go on and make some money." She said, "I just needed you to get you on campus one semester and your whole tune would have changed." I said, "Oh, I didn't know."
Like our kids these days are the clone Tyrones, where they're just going through the motions, like they segmented our brain. The whole thing is programming. The women
it's intentional
for the men, and everybody is programmed. We only think about pumping the weights on the corner, the liquor stores, the lottery, the church, and
to a kid looking up to me. Life ain't nothing but money.
So let's break it down with the communion, with the stuff in the grape juice. So what do that symbolize? Okay, they put
that was the church.
It symbolizes that we're programmed through the church. It's just that everything, it's not really stuff in our stuff, which it is chemicals, but chemicals affect everybody, black or white. But what they're saying is that those are just segments in our life. The liquor store, the man on the corner, the church. Those are places. All these are just places that keep us in this hamster wheel.
Don't think about the situation you're in. Let's look at it. Don't think about the situation you're in. Have some chicken. You'll feel better. Don't think about the situation you're in. Listen to some music and you'll forget all about it. Don't think about the situation you're in. Take this communion juice and just be obedient and you'll be okay. Don't trip off your situation. Perm your hair out, be more white, and you'll be okay. Everything comes down to don't focus on what you're in. Don't focus on where you are. Don't focus on making changes. Don't focus on living up. Don't focus on your mother and your father. Don't focus on the kids in your community.
Don't focus on your brothers, the people that look up to you.
None of it. Just make your money. Get that scratcher, make that money, drink that juice, smoke that weed, get them hoes, and that's it. Just relax, chill out.
I wonder if y'all caught this. All that money that they make in the hood, they just stay there. Look at how raggedy the house was.
Yeah, exactly.
What were they buying with the money? You just taking the money, as they say, reflipping it, just so that you could be a thug or that hustler. And the only thing that he had was a car. And it's like you didn't even use the money to get yourself out the situation.
When they were in the trap house, it was so funny. And this is part of the comedy to me. While they walking through the trap house, Yojo was just commenting, "Oh, look at these floors. Oh, this will be really nice. You can do the living room over here." She was just analyzing this whole house, which to me, I took that as everything we could need in the hood is right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All we gotta do is take our hoods back. Man, do you know out here in Pablo, if he's around, can probably talk about some of this.
Can you say something, Pablo? Because we ain't heard from you.
See? There you go. Pablo would testify to this like I will. There are some places in South Central Los Angeles and in Compton that have some of the biggest houses. You walk in these people's house, it's 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a den, a foyer, a gigantic backyard. You're like, who what are these mini mansions doing in the hood? And there's so many of them. There's so many of them. Yeah. They talk in urban development about walkability. Have y'all ever heard that term?
No.
Walkability is the ability to get where you need to get the resources in your community without even really needing a car. That you can go, if you go to out here, Santa Monica, the city of Santa Monica out here, the train runs through, they got scooters everywhere. Everything is within a little walkable spot where you can get to. It's a convenience. So you're not just flooded with cars. South Central Los Angeles is quiet as kept. One of the most walkable places if it was safe. That's why they want it back so bad. The grocery stores are here. The only thing that they don't have is all the stuff that tells you when they've begun to gentrify your community. Exactly. This is when you know they coming. Wingstop, Jamba Juice. What's the other one?
Let's talk about the city trends and the.
Yeah. When you start getting these spots, when you start getting Wingstops and Jamba Juices, and what'd you say, Pablo?
I said, when you see the Starbucks next to the projects, you know it's over.
There you go. Because it's only a matter of time.
When you're leaving.
And I think they touched on gentrification too in the movie. I think we're gonna get to that part. But when it was in the lab and it was showing on the wall, what was that on the wall that was showing something about the future of the race? God, what was that?
Something like the future begins today or something like that.
Yeah,
because the future involves one of the things that happened with the jet age and the breaking of the blocks back in the day is white folk left the inner city and went to the suburbs. Mm-hmm. And then what happened is then the manufacturing job left the inner city. Yeah. And as they continued to leave, all that stuff dried up and they left us with didn't the clones come out of a check cashing place at one point?
Well, yeah, just think about where the clones will come.
Oh, darn.
The clones just represent everybody black that's in these neighborhoods every day.
Yeah.
So what did Keith Sutton said when he forgot the car? Remember, he was like, he said America was he said something about
America's
the founding fathers. They left us with a mess or something like he said they left us with a mess. We gotta get pretty much like we gotta contain this thing. Like, you know, it was like, and he basically was telling black people, y'all cannot beat this system.
I once told people when I was in the middle of a political argument. And I was explaining to people how Chicago will never be cured because the Democrats need Chicago to be bad and Republicans need Chicago to be bad. For the Democrats, it lets it look like they can come help and they can bring stuff. For Republicans, it makes them look like, see, they can't solve your problems over there. They can't do it. They both need Chicago to stay exactly where Chicago is, just like they need New Orleans, Los Angeles, New York, and every other major city. They need
Alabama,
them all.
Birmingham.
Hey, somebody Black Love said
anywhere where black people live, they need it to be bad because if it's bad now. Oh, okay. I got another analogy I gotta use.
Andy said the Billboard movie read "Unity starts here."
There you go. But it's not our unity. Wow. It's American unity.
Well, that's what you saw on the billboard, though. You saw a bunch of white children, a bunch of white people on the billboard. That's what you saw on the billboard.
Let me give you another example. I use this one when I talk to people all the time. There was a movie called World War Z. That's a zombie movie. Oh, yeah. The movie is a regular fast-moving zombie movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice zombie movie if you like zombie movies. The book is way better. Because in the book, the zombies are regular, slow moving. So one of the things that happened is the zombie thing got bad. I'll skip through a lot of it because I got to get to my point. The zombie thing got bad and society started to collapse. And they came up with this plan. The plan said the communities are overrun. There's nothing we can do. What we're going to do is this. We're going to airdrop some guns, airdrop some supplies. Tell people, handle it the best way you can. And we're going to evacuate out the important people and get the important people to where stuff is safe.
Facts.
We'll get you to where everything is safe and we can regroup the society because we can't save everybody. It's not possible. So we gonna let y'all have whatever it is you need to have over here in your little enclave. We gonna get people out, figure out how to get our stuff safe. And then later on, after we figure out what we gonna do, we'll come back and take back this. Well, that's what they did with us.
Yeah.
When the jobs in the inner cities and the suburbs and around the urban areas dried up, they ran to the suburbs so they could get safe. They left us down here with guns and drugs and alcohol and all of that. And now, little by little, they want to come take it back. Now, for us down here, we not all niggas down here, but that's what they bred. Exactly. They got the niggas down here to kill each other, shoot each other, hurt each other, while those of us who are black people down here have been suffering. Exactly. So they'll push us back out, push the niggas wherever we go and all of that, and then take it back. So now they have the inner city of South Central. Now they have the South Side of Chicago. Now they got Harlem and Brooklyn and the Bronx. Now they got Liberty City in Florida. You see this everywhere we go. So what's the answer? The answer is for us to use the same plan. We can't save everybody. We can't save all these foods. And the zombies have taken over the entire community. We have to get ourselves out, get where we got to get someplace safe and regroup all of this stuff to get back and come save the community. Because we can't do it. We are surrounded.
But right here, Black Love has a point. All of this is because a small group of people who are dying out. The world know it. The scientists know it, and they have piggybacked off of our lives since their existence. And
since they began.
And I want to. They're trying to slow their extinction. And like Chocolate Bunny said, this movie is going to go over a lot of people's head because our people are cloned to not think. That's the whole point of this movie. We're cloned, you know what? To not think. We're cloned to just go through the same motions, just like the girl sitting getting her perm. She realized she complained, but you're not going to do nothing because you're just going to settle down into doing what you're doing. And then at the end with the little boy, which was a replication of his brother, and he got it. At the end, he sat down, and the little boy, he was like, "You remind me of someone."
And I like what she said too. Black Love said, "How can we tell clones from flesh and bone humans?" Now, touching on that part, like at the end, you remember they were showing all the clones. They was mindless. They didn't have no soul, and they were asking them questions. I know I talked about this earlier. I'm going back to it. So I looked at that as the black people who were pretty much lost, don't care. Like they're the ones who kind of, don't know. Let's be honest, a lot of us like that. They just don't care. Like we know what's going on, but they the ones who just listen to the music, listen to the bullshit.
Buy the stuff.
Exactly.
Let's take it a step further beyond like the cloning of the mindset with the propaganda. And let's be honest here. And let's talk about actual cloning that actually occurs. Because it does occur for all of you that are listening that don't understand that. It actually occurs. So think about when you have cloned fish, right? Look at tilapia. That is cloned fish. Cloned chicken. KFC is feeding you cloned chicken.
They admitted that they cloned a lamb. They admitted that they clone animals, and we already know they want to clone people. So why not believe
cloning people though? There's a thing. There's a thing, and I was listening to it the other day when I was working out, and it was talking about the placenta and the umbilical cords, and when black women, when all of us have babies, but they're taking the placenta and the umbilical cords, and they are cloning.
Black women ask for your placenta at the hospital because they've been doing it.
Ask for all of it back. Demand, don't ask.
They're making billions of dollars off of black childbirth and don't give us anything from it. They come in there with a bread bag and collect the black people's placenta. And like you're saying, Queen, not mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead, Queen.
They are cloning us, and we don't want to see it because we think it's a joke. I made a statement about it, and then someone said, why don't y'all just worry about if they are cloning it? What does it matter? I said it matters if you send your child to school and then you come and your child is being human trafficked and they send you back a clone while your real child out here suffering.
Exactly. Did y'all ever hear about the and I know Mr. P probably heard about this too. They have underground cities all across America. So
there's a truck driver that's showing it. There's a truck driver that show all these trucks going in underground.
Yep, they said I know Virginia, North Carolina, they got highways. They say you can drive like 200 miles per hour. So this movie touched on a whole lot of stuff. This stuff is for real. So you imagine what they doing, these experiments they doing down there. You know what I'm saying? So you see how advanced that place was when they went down. It was like a whole community. These people walking around, and it's like it's crazy. I'm like, when they went down and seen it, it's like wow. They like, man, what in the hell? Like they had all these different rooms doing all the kind of experiments on black people. Like it's like it's been there for a long time. Like he said, we in everywhere. Like we everywhere. So they just touched on one spot. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, it's crazy. So when people see it on TV, I guarantee you in real life if that really happened, black folks still a lot of them still won't wake up.
I mean, like look at the missing posters with the missing children. And
exactly.
not to get off subject, but you know, I'm not being funny, you all. And this is gonna sound crazy, but it's really happening. So what happens with all these pedophiles running around here, right? Our children are coming up missing, like we just talked about. But what happens if you could replicate children that you're abusing? If something happens, you kill this child that you'd raped and abused, well, you've got another one. This goes beyond,
and that's the whole point, because they sick and sadistic.
So this movie,
and then you don't have to kill you if you kill your slave because they got on your nerves. Now you got another slave.
Got another one.
They got
so they made this movie, and we know the first one they made was Us. What's it called? Then what's that movie? Was it?
It was Us.
Us. That was deep. People, it was over some people's heads. I think this movie kind of was. I think they kind of made it more simple for people to understand than the movie Us. You know, I know Jordan Peele when really, you know, it was talking about everybody, but this was more pushed.
Jordan Peele is really good at the messages that are behind what he's saying. He's really good at taking what it is that he's talking about and applying it in the way that you'll get it with a movie. And if you pay attention, there's deeper stuff behind it. He did it with Get Out. He did it with Us. He did it with he tried to do it with Nope. He didn't do it quite as well. But
it was a little too much.
So what this movie did is it took a lot of those same things and layered them in there.
Exactly.
Now, what happens on Us, because we a show that talks about solutions instead of just talking about what we do, what it does to us is A, it brings a lot of those things to light, and B, lets us talk about the solutions that we're talking about in it. Because a lot of us, whether we see They Clone Tyrone literally and talk about the cloning that's going on, or whether we see it metaphorically in all of the different things that we saw and saw the allegory with it, it's all something that needs to be discussed in our community. And what do we do as a community to keep dealing with it? Because a lot of people are doing a Fontaine. They are seeing what it is. And not once you see it, it really can be bad. Remember the scene in The Matrix where Neo, where he showed him the entire Matrix, what it was, and he came out, he was like, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, and he threw up because it's, and Morpheus said, well, he don't like necessarily freeing a mind too early because it's a lot to deal with.
Exactly.
And it's a lot easier for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Too. I mean,
except the lie. Always the lie is better than the truth.
Even going back to the Matrix again, and maybe one day we got to do a show about the Matrix. But
let's
look,
talk about
this is what I wanted to touch on too.
Basically, the black people Matrix.
Exactly.
This is very much a black people Matrix.
Yeah, I know we winding down, but listen, the part. Let's go back to Fontaine and the older version of him, right? So this is what I'm gonna get. Okay, so the younger version of him in L.A., right? So I'm trying to figure out the time frame. So the older version of him, I'm trying to get like it throws you off, like okay, because they really didn't talk like in the initial movie storyline, you don't even know what time it is really, because it shows stuff in the 80s, 90s, the early 2000s. Yeah, exactly. So when he created,
that's on purpose too.
I know exactly. So I'm trying to figure out what was because you feel what I'm saying? Like if he cloned himself.
Let me see if I can help.
Yeah, because it's throwing me off.
Just from what I think. Number one, from one perspective, the reason why it felt so 70s, 80s, 90s, O's, 10s, 20s, is that was an artistic choice so that you can see this is a throwback to the blaxploitation period.
Yeah.
On the other hand, metaphorically, these are the things that have been happening with us since the 70s, 80s, 90s, 10s. It feels timeless for all of us.
Exactly.
As far as, here's what I want you to get. And it just kind of hit me as I'm sitting here with it. There is no, at least in this movie, there was no real Fontaine. They all Fontaine. There is no real Tyrone. They all Tyrone. They all clone.
Yeah.
Remember, and I'm gonna take you back to one, D Mays. I'm gonna take you back to a thing that was the shock for all of us. Season 1 of The Walking Dead. We all infected.
Yep. He said it. We are
all infected. All of us, like it or not, have been hit. However you look at it, we've all been hit by this cloning thing.
Yep.
So when I tell people that when I talk about Black people in America, I say that the rape has happened to all of us.
Yep.
The question is, do we deal with it like victims, like Democrats do? Do we deal with it like survivalists who forget everything that happened, like Republicans do? Or do we stay Black activists like we are and say, this is what happened and this is what we're going to do about it, like we do?
Exactly.
The cloning is all of us.
I want to say they cloned the slave mentality, and the older Fontaine is just like the Black people who are rich now, like the Oprahs and the people like Jay Morrison. Since we bringing up how he done got $10 million out the Black community and did nothing with it, and
they think they're doing good.
Those Black people need these Black people, and the Al Sharptons. You need the Tyrones. You need these people to stay in this clone, which is you cloning a mind of slavery.
Yeah, that preacher. That was Al Sharpton. That preacher. That
yeah,
preacher was Al
you need to stay in
Sharpton.
this slave mind because out of the world of white supremacy, only a few Black people get it. That's why you have the Black Caucus that never does anything and gets us out the Black people. The NAACP. I want to go back to what Chocolate Bunny said. I mean, not Ahu said. You're basically, one of them said it, creating a community of poverty for 18 years in the Black community. So they're.
What did Yo-Yo say? Yo-Yo said she had plans. She was gonna go do this. She was gonna do that and the other. But here she go, a block from the house she lived in her whole life.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Remember, her house, everything was nice. Remember she had.
But remember,
dreams
she
and
stayed
stuff?
in her grandmama house.
Exactly.
The mom wasn't there. The parents wasn't there. She lived with her grandma.
Yep. You see that?
She said, "I had
her mom wasn't there."
Yeah.
Yeah, and the grandma too old to deal with it, so she in and out. She's a good girl in front of her grandma. You notice she said, "Be quiet," this and that. You're a good girl in front of your grandparents, but you're out there because where the parents at? Either you know they didn't even probably touch on. I guess the prison system is everybody down there. That was the lab was like a prison. So you look.
I mean, it's only a 2-hour flick.
Yeah, yeah. You remember it was a part. You know, she was figuring everything out. Remember, and her and Fontaine were talking when she was at her grandmother's house, and she was like, "Yeah, man, we need to, you know, like let people know whatever." He said, "Who's gonna listen to you? You a whore." And she got quiet, like they over sexualize Black women.
See Black women because if a lot of people listen to Black women, that the white society has this thing of, and not just white society because it's all over. Look at the woman in Dubai right now who's being arrested because she got loud. Look at all these other countries that don't allow women to speak.
Yeah. Hey, look, I gotta go back and look at the movie, y'all. I missed that part, but back that thing. Look. Back that ass so everybody. Somebody said. Somebody said.
I saw somebody was pop. I was watching, and I saw some lady on the pew was like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey."
We're all doing it, Mr. P.
Somebody said that's the church.
Get it, man.
I was like,
I used to see it in the church, and the church I used to be with. I looked at these girls. They used to always want to show that they had the finest bodies. Young girls. When the music came on, they so-called caught the Holy Ghost, but it was always backing that thing up, Holy Ghost.
I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit.
Fast forward to minute, you can find it. A minute 50 and 40 seconds. They are backing that thing up. I kid you not.
This is my part of my testimony, and so I'm not gonna go into why I became a Christian or not, but I've been I have had the benefit of having atheists who raised me and believers who raised me. So when I finally stopped dealing with the conflict in myself and went back to church, I'm going to do right. I'm good. So I'm there and I'm in church, and all around me while it's doing praise and worship, all I see is everybody dancing and popping. And I'm like, come on, dog. I'm trying to not look at everybody this way while I'm at church.
Facts.
And so I went and talked to a brother about it. He was like, well, man, you're going to fight temptation, in your body. I'm like, yeah, but when do that stop? He said, oh, I got that. Right after you die.
Wow.
So, which was part of the reason why I got married the first time, because of that. You ever heard the phrase, nervous as a whore in church?
Yeah. I've heard the phrase sweating like a $2 whore in church.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the personification of that phrase.
Look, y'all,
So,
I got before we get out here, I got to at least talk about it because somebody in my comments on mine.
Okay.
They said let's talk about the ritual Jamie is going through. Let me see. Hold on, what they say. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
So my thing is, I
what ritual are we talking about?
He either done got some adrenaline children blood and he looking fresh and young, or he's going because he did this movie. Then all of a sudden, Jamie Foxx gets sick. He don't say what the sickness is. He say it was tubes in him. Tubes for what? Most of the time, where's your scars? Your head shape different. Your eyes look different. Your skin looking
lighter.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tip my own hand on this, and my opinion might not be y'all's, but bear with me on it.
Okay.
A lot of us, for better or for worse, a lot of us, including myself, took that vaccine. A lot of us,
Not me.
I got the vaccine, and I had it twice.
Oh my God.
I had COVID twice, but I not only took the vaccine, but I got at least three. I think I got 3 boosters with it. And
please use jab, Mr. P. I'm sorry, use jab and not the V word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, jab. Say jab.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I got jabbed at least 3 times. And I have had some health issues that I never had before I had that. Some of it, you can make an argument that some of it could be attributed to COVID it affects your entire immune system. You can make the argument that I took the shot and it's caused some issues that I ordinarily would not have had. Jab. I had a needle put into my skin. I think a lot of
about shooting up hair and crack and stuff. You can talk about shooting that up, but that's okay. Go ahead.
You would think that, but so
you took that powder. You took that powdery stuff that they got in. They cloned Tyrone. Go ahead.
You a clown? You a clown, Mr. P? You a clown?
Hey, for real talk. Somebody once told me they wasn't going to be my friend no more because very clearly I am no longer a citizen of the United States. I'm now a clone that can be used. I can be violated under the Constitution because I am no longer a person because I took the shot. We're not friends anymore. But I was literally told.
Really?
I was really told that. I was told that another girl said it's a good thing that you married because I'd never sleep with you because now you've had the vaccine and you could spread. I could spread whatever vaccinated jab thing I have. Either way, I think that a lot of us have more health issues now because of what happened, myself included. A lot of us who have I never had sinusitis a day in my life before I got injected. But I had a headache last year that was so bad, I literally had tears running out my eye and it was on one side of my head and I could literally hear the pressure coming out of my head. Never had that before.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't remember if I ever had high blood pressure.
You know what? Now that everything is coming out, Mr. P, and you're good at, you need to document everything that has been going on with you. And so you know, as you notice a difference, because it's going to be a time where it's going to be needed, because just like we're joking about this movie, they clone Tyrone, but they're putting stuff in everything, and we fall victim. Because I thought about it and I was like, no, because this don't make any sense. And so
For me,
be aware in the future.
They're gonna make the argument regarding me. I already know. There's almost
no. I mean, but it's a lot of white people, and everything is coming out now about the CDC lying and all this other stuff. I don't know if you've been seeing stuff, but
yeah, I was unfortunate enough to contract COVID 1 month after my 50th birthday.
Yeah,
so almost everything.
The people who's vaccinated now can give COVID to everyone. Yeah. So you might want to be quiet before they put you in the lab. Go ahead.
All I'm saying.
They're everywhere.
It's like my blood. I never had high blood pressure before. I never had sinusitis before. I don't think I ever had 4 or 5 colds in 1 year before.
But
I usually get.
Say you turn 50.
And you see where the argument is?
Get too.
That's what I'm saying. The argument will be, well, you turned 50, so and. So,
but you don't look different than you did before you took the vaccine. You didn't disappear for a while after making a major movie with subliminal link.
This is true.
Your cheekbones, your bone structure, your head structure didn't change. Your eyebrows did not change, did they?
And the cheekbones. It's always the cheekbones. That's the funny thing. It's always the cheekbones.
I'm just saying.
You came back. You came back with model looking cheekbones.
Your eye didn't change. You know what I'm saying? And your voice ain't changed a little bit. They saying Jamie Foxx.
My skin a little lighter.
Yeah.
Little lighter.
Zombie.
Wait. It's like the clone recipe didn't take. Like I told y'all not to take it out the oven yet. It wasn't cooked.
Exactly. They was like, we gotta bring Jamie Foxx back. The people are looking for him. We ain't think he was that important. We need to bring him back. We need to bring him back.
It didn't cook long enough. We gotta put him back in the oven. How we gonna get him back?
Done. He looked like the other twin brother.
A little lighter.
Set it at 450 this time. I told you not to cook on 350. Put it on 450 next time.
There was a video on TikTok. After COVID, a little bit after everybody started taking the vax. Well, I didn't take it, but they was showing it's a skit. It's scary too, man. They had a guy looking out the window, and everybody who took the jab was like zombies, and he be like, he was scared to go outside. It was a song. It was a creepy song. It was real popular on TikTok and Instagram. In 2030, all the people took the jab, it turned to zombies, and the people who didn't take it, they were trapped in their house looking out the blind. I'm like, man, that was crazy. Like.
Yeah,
that was another one. I just got another thing from the movie. Okay. I remember when he was talking to Frog.
Wrap it up after this comment.
Yeah, we winding down too, y'all. Yeah.
In the movie, he was talking to Frog and he was trying to figure out what was happening. Mm-hmm. And Frog told him. He said, "What did he say? In the kingdom of the blind," but he didn't go into it. But I know the phrase is, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Mm-hmm. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. What Frog was telling him is, these people are blind. They can't see.
Exactly.
You can see. Frog was telling him in his state that you can see what's going on. You only got one eye open. Yeah. But with everybody else blind, you can see. And the fact that we on here and even discussing it shows we all at least got one eye open.
Exactly. We got growth talk. Yeah, growth talk.
I want you to look in the comments. Anu says Spirilla takes the worm out the body, and it may be 2 weeks to a year, but he was saying that. But I want to read this so we can wrap up the movie. Growth said, think about the clones that were released at the end of the movie. They did not have a clue of who they were without white people telling them. They couldn't speak for themselves. And
boom. Oh, I love that. Damn.
That's us today. We'll tell black people, we kind of like the black girl trying to warn everybody, and black people, we don't know how to think for ourselves no more. The kids that we're producing, this generation of children, don't know how to think for themselves or dress for themselves because we don't have our individual cultures. And everybody black did not have one culture. We had many. That's why it was many tribes. That's why
I told you about them domesticated dogs.
Yeah.
A husky can look a whole lot like a wolf, but a husky don't know how to get along without a master.
And like I always tell people, mindless creatures, when them not zombies, when they was bringing them out, the police and stuff, and in the movie, like Growth Talk said, they just out there mindless. They didn't know what was going on. Like a lot of black people don't know what
and
the
they
hell
waiting
going on.
to get, and they waiting like black people. We gotta wait. That most black boys, they wait till they see a movie or hear a song, and then to see a video. Then that's when they put on the costume. I'ma act like what the song say. I'ma dress like the video. And I'm gonna behave my life every day like the movies that the white people produce, because I'm a thug on the corner.
And
I don't see anything else.
What was his rival? We've been round up. What was the rival gang member, the one who shot him? What was the one play on P Valley? What's his name?
I don't know,
but
anyway, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when he went down, remember when he went down at the bottom and came out of the elevator, he saw the laboratory. He said, "I knew they was."
He on P Valley?
Yeah, that's the gay gangster. That's the one go with the gay gangster.
That's where I know him from.
Look, cause they filming here, so he already in Atlanta, so they probably But when he came down the elevator, because he didn't believe it, remember? And when he looked down, he said, "Man, I knew they was trapping down here." Like something like he said something like that. Like
but I saw that as we in the D.L. Hewley told a joke before. The black people always believe. We always, whether we say it or not, believe conspiracies. We always have. He said if a UFO landed on the White House lawn right now, we all be like, I knew it. I always knew it.
But we believe it and we won't do nothing about it. And that's the problem now. Like I told people, they were laughing like, ain't no clones, y'all just stupid. I said, well, imagine when they want to get to the point where they control children. Why? Just like the truck driver on the TikTok, y'all look it up. He was like, it's a whole city under here. They drive these trucks under here. Now go back to the Mexican lady who was killed and chopped up and put in a suitcase because she was crying and she said she seen an 18-wheeler full of dead children bodies.
And think about this, y'all.
All these different stories together that people are saying. Black people, that we're being controlled by the media. Just like I ain't watched that movie, Woman King. I don't need to see no more movies that black people act on from the imagination of a white person.
Exactly. And
white women wrote that. I refuse to look at it no matter how much I'm interested in it. They keep saying the history. I'm tired of them writing our history, studying it, and getting us to act it out.
I'm just like I'm gonna say it. We're gonna go for real, y'all. The scene I know we were talking about earlier. Somebody said, "Why did Fontaine kill his older self?" Now think about it. Now his older self was a scientist, supposed to be an intelligent black man, like Yakub,
old black
right?
people are the one holding us back and got us. Yes, go ahead.
His younger self, he killed him. He said that code word Olympia Black and made the bodyguard kill him. He did that because he knew, like, look. Because he was asking him, he said, man, why are you doing this to your people? Like, even though you're supposed to be this intelligent version of me, whatever, I see what you're doing. It's not helping us. So he's like, hell, you got to go. And that's the message I get. We got to take out or just walk away from black people who holding us back. And he chose the latter.
Walk away from the black people that are holding us back.
Yeah, and he decided to get him, kill him. He like, well, if
those kind of people, the ones who would rather hurt us, the ones who think hurting us saves us, those are the wrong kind of people. They are holding us back, and they need to be walked away from, if not eliminated.
And Mr. P, check this out. And the sad part about it, he killed the mastermind behind it, but he already created it all over the going country. He said we was everywhere. So,
it's already out.
What I like is that the movie, we're not looking at the power that they gave in the movie. The so-called thugs and everybody that was killing each other and that was against each other, they came together and fought against it together. So let's end that, or let's anybody else want to say, let's look at the positivity that came out.
Mike said,
that's what I saw.
Mike C said, get rid of the boule. I agree with
exactly. That's what they're basically saying. Walk away from the boule. Walk away from black people who gotta have all the white goodies. The white goodies.
I'm not even seeing it as a get rid of, because the system is intrinsic. It's everywhere. It's almost like trying to get rid of oxygen and water. What you can do, if you're in a place that rains a lot, is you can move away from that place that rains. If you're in a place that's got a whole lot of white folk around, you can move to a different place. What I'm saying is we need to move to a different place. I'm not even worried about getting rid of Oprah. I just don't need to be around Oprah. I don't need to get rid of all of the Boule folk. I ain't got to be around the Boule folk.
We need to just create our own community.
There you go.
Somebody said, what is
all these
Olympia Black?
People that's out here, we need to look at. Somebody said, what is Olympia Black? I don't know what it meant, but it was a code word.
You know what? I might look into that because that's kind of
let's look it up. We can come back and talk about this again. Let's look
real
it
quick.
up.
It says, consider this. Olympia Black is likely the name of the government project that strives to achieve a skewed sense of radical peace by manipulating the Black population of the United States.
Sounds about right.
Wow.
It sounds about right.
Can you read that out again, Queen?
Yes, it says, considering these, Olympia Black is likely the name of the government project that strives to achieve a skewed sense of radical peace by manipulating the Black population of the United States. And I'll put the link so you can get to that.
And so before we say this now, when they said the Boule is everywhere, the problem is that now people are being exposed. Jay Morrison got $10 million from the Black community. You have nowhere to go, all y'all that gave. If we're not, if Black people that's asking for money is not building a place where every Black person can at least come to visit or something, then they're not for you. You got Dr. Boyce talking about the Black Business School. You ain't got not one person that came out here and said they did shit with the Black Business School. All this money he's been collecting. I'm calling names because I used to be with him. Vicky Dillard, she collected $2.something million from the Black community, and all she did was scam. You ain't got shit they built. I don't know the rest of the people. Tariq Nasheed, you got him. He did some stuff, some good stuff with the Hidden Colors, but what did he do with the money he made from Hidden Colors? He turned around and asked for millions of dollars more to build a museum. Ain't nothing in the museum but a party. So we really have to get away from people who are holding us back, because our kids need to be pulled out of these bad communities like the little boy in Who Cloned Tyrone, and let's put them in safe places where they can be programmed to be themselves and to be something better than another street gangster on the corner.
Facts.
They're a home for the money that it would take.
So I'll let y'all take the last word.
I'll just say this real quick for anybody out there who's thinking about it. For the money that it would have, if you pay $5 million for a mansion, and again, I'm bougie, I would have no problem paying $5 million for a mansion if I had it. But you know what else I could do with that $5 million? I could buy a town. I could buy a whole town for $5 million.
Say it again, please.
A whole town. I can buy a town and move Black people in and get us somewhere safe.
That's what we're trying to do with the United Empires of Akibalon. So when we ask for your donations and when we ask you to go to the website, we're thinking about everybody. We're not trying to buy a Rolls Royce and high class clothes and throw expensive conferences to look important in front of you. We're really trying to save our people.
I understand. Like, dog, do you understand? Just imagine a little Mayberry town with all Black people in it. How much peace we have, how much safety you have, how much we doing with us. Now imagine 1,000 of those all over America.
Thank you. Where you don't have to go out and nobody is going to allow the Chinese and all these people to come in and put vacuum cleaner businesses to suck out the money out your communities to give back to theirs. We need.
You're not worried about cops pulling you over because the cops are in the same town as you with the same business.
You ain't got to worry about dying at childbirth because we got Black people who care about Black people in the clinics.
Exactly.
You ain't got to worry about a bunch of stuff. We need to finish painting the vision. I'm sorry.
But we know the vision. We got to have them come to the website so they can see the vision. We know the vision.
And I want to say this too, going back to the food, the chicken part. I know it was comedy, and it's to be honest, they always talk about Black people and chicken. Black people, we gotta take care of ourselves when it comes to eating. We gotta stop eating this processed foods, fast foods and stuff. And listen, fast foods. They tell you it's fast.
My body told me the hard way. My body made the decision for me. Oh, you're not eating no more chicken, sir.
And they telling
like,
you in the
all right.
movie. Yeah, they telling you in the movie what they doing.
And then the thing is, we keep marching and stuff. I want y'all to know those hoods and those black neighborhoods belong to them. That's why the police, you can have an all black neighborhood just like in Atlanta, but when they get ready, they drop their cops right in the middle. So the communities we're talking about building this for us. And for any white person that say is racist, you have the whole world. You have all of America. Give us our space. This is not for you because you are safe in your communities.
Exactly.
We're not the ones that's not safe.
I'm okay with, I'm not speaking for them. I'm speaking for me. I'm okay with being racist.
I am too.
I'm speaking on mine. If you think the idea of me having a town with me and my people to live in peace with us in a way we haven't been able to live in this country since we got here, if you think that's racist, I'm good with that.
No,
exactly. And Dr. Claude Anderson even said, yes, I want to be racist. See, y'all think racism be hating somebody.
It depends on what you're doing with racism. We don't want to get white people, enslave you, kill you, beat you, or whatever. We want to be with our people so we don't have to deal with what's going on in Florida where you're writing books because white people control the black history for some reason. They get to tell the stories of history of slavery the way they want, so they can program white students not to sympathize with what their grandparents did.
Look, white people, I don't even want to employ you. I don't want you around. So now you don't think I'm gonna exploit you. If I get what I get, I don't even want to exploit you.
Yes.
You should be happy.
Like the country singer, don't try this in a small town. Keep your small town. We won't have to go there. Let us in our safe places, and that is the whole point of the United Empires of Akibalon. It's not a us thing. We're not trying to raise money so we can ride the best cars. I don't even want these expensive cars. If we get expensive cars in the future, we want to manufacture it maybe from Africa, from black people.
Sure, I sure been looking for one. I ain't found one yet. Let me find one.
And Angie, can you give out the information, please?
Please do.
Go ahead, Angie. And
yes,
Angie
absolutely.
Wrap this up.
We hope you all enjoyed this conversation. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. We want to invite you to stay tuned in with us on our websites. So first and most importantly, you can find us at the United Empires of Akibalon.com. Akibalon is spelled ALKEBULAN. And that is the core of what we are doing when we talk about micronations and separation and Black empowerment. And then in addition to that, you can check us out on our Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles morning radio show website, which is www.gmfatla.com. And just kind of stay tuned and find out what's going on in conversation as we move forward as a micronation. And that is what that website is for, the radio station is for, is to bring awareness, just like what we're doing here, bringing awareness and making changes and coming with solutions. So we hope you enjoyed this. We're not here to entertain. We always have a good time connecting with one another and reaching you all, but we are here for empowerment. This is not for entertainment. It's beyond educational purposes. We are here to empower. So we hope you all enjoyed that. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. I just
Thank you, Queen.
We'll be back again next Sunday.
Yes, same time. Well, we'll be back next Sunday.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for
tuning y'all. In. Watch the movie again.
Yes, watch the movie again.
Yeah, take some notes. Peace.
Peace.